another month gone. This was an interesting month, as well. It's been busy. It definitely has been busy this month. This job has been wonderful so far. I'm coming up to 2 months in this job, and just learning new things and just having a laugh with not only my colleagues but also the customers. It's beautiful. It's a lovely thing to have, and I've been enjoying my job so far. Got a new phone, so quality is going to be maybe a little bit better. I don't know, but no, honestly, I feel like for July, not many videos were produced because I have been busy with work, and honestly, it is finding that comfort level into doing more videos at work. I know one of them I will be doing is for one in which I have picked up from work and I want to share to you guys one day, but that's going to be in a different video altogether. But for now, it's just the same old ramblings of a Welshman on TikTok brought here onto YouTube. So without further ado, I'm going to chill for a couple of days in August and I'll get back to it. But allow me to introduce you to July. Finishing off my therapy session for today, and one of the questions my therapist asked me before leaving was my ring. What does this ring mean? So I explained to her that it's a sigil for White Mage. They're a healing class for Final Fantasy XIV, a game I play online with friends, in which my job is to make sure that other people are okay, they're not dead, and basically making sure that they are alive, that they are being taken care of and they're protected. Anyways, the therapist chuckled and said to me, "Oh, so it's basically like what you do in real life and stuff. You make other people happy, you make sure that they're okay." They weren't wrong. That is me in a nutshell, right? Jesus, these therapy sessions are good.
Girl could be getting her own show.
See, this sort of shit is why I'm just starting to hate the internet more and more. I do a daily vlogging channel for the last 10 years, every single day, talking about the highs and lows of my life and revealing the most vulnerable moments of my life. That does not bat an eyelid to TV companies. But some girl who just goes, "You gotta give it that hug too," and apparently, "Oh yeah, here's some TV deals, sign on the dotted line." So if she goes hawk tui, she gets her own TV show. If I was to go hawk tui, I would get arrested because that's apparently just considered wrong. The internet is really fucking gone to shit lately. So I have a small inkling that I may upset a few people within the furry community, and I apologize immensely, but I gotta get this off my chest because it's something in which I have seen, and it's kind of lurking in the back of my brain to ask. Now, first off, I am a furry myself. I'm not a heavy furry, like I don't have a fursuit, I don't go to the expos and the conventions, and I'm not a well-renowned name within the furry community, but for someone who is a furry, I've got to ask, since when did this start to become more sexual? The reason why I ask is because I see a lot of feeds in my For You page for Twitter come up, and majority is from furries, in which some are very masculine, some are doing very complex sexual things, and it's not only just on their in their house, but also as well in public, in conventions and stuff. And I think, when did the furry community start to become very much into the heavy petting stuff like that? It kinda disappoints me, to be honest, because, well, this is my furry right here. This is my persona. I love it a bit. I love being a fox. It's fun. And I see this as my escape from reality to, fantasy to fiction to where I feel like this would be me in the furry community, and where I would like to hang out with others and just chill and have a fun time. Honestly, I see other things on there that are more heavy leaned on the sexual stuff, and it's like, it kind of pushes me away ever so slightly, and it sucks. Everything is just idolized as, to be a furry, you must have thousands upon thousands of dollars to buy a lot of fursuits and go to conventions to be able to do this, that, and the other. But also as well, you need to look fit as hell and have a six-pack and be able to do this, that, and the other, and be high sex drive. And it's something which ties me, because I look at it and I think it's kind of leaning away from what it means to be a furry. And there are other people out there who are furries, in which I respect immensely, and you know, some of them aren't fit, some of them don't have six packs, you know, they have a bit of weight to them, they are big build, and that is kind of what I like. And it's that sort of attitude as well, the kindness that I see from them, it's fantastic, it's whimsical. But a lot of people, it just feels like, oh yeah, you know, I can get away with doing this, that, and the other because I'm a furry. This is what my persona would do. And that's another thing as well, consent. There's lack of in it for the majority of the time, because people think, oh, I'm wearing a fursuit, I'm a furry, I don't need to know what consent is. Yes, you fucking do. Don't. No means no. I don't know, it just... Can someone just help me understand what the fuck's going on within the furry community? It's... I'm getting ever so tired of it. And I don't want to see myself leave the furry community because, well, there are some nice people out there.
Tell me about New York. I need to know.
Maybe I could be of assistance. I've been living out here in America, specifically New York State, for the last 9 years. As you can see, I am from Wales, and 9 years I still have a lot to learn, because first off, it is roundabout in the 80 degrees Fahrenheit, which is insert Celsius here, and it is now 9:25 p.m. Eastern time, so it's going to be late over in the UK. There's a lot with New York, and I want to point out the specific one. To anyone who's never been to New York or to America, New York City is not the entirety of New York State. There is a fuck ton of New York than just New York City. As you know, I've been to New York City once. It is a 5-hour train ride that way, and then eastern direction that way. It's nice. There's different areas, but you know, at the end of the day, it's just another city. It's another check off the bucket list and be like, hey, I could do that, peachy keen, fandabby dozy. But there is a lot more, because each county in New York State is very different on what their rules and regulations are, and what is permitted and what's not permitted. And we see that happen quite a bit away. I mean, of course, there's a lot of gas stations around here that are run by a casino and by a nation, an Indian nation, and a reservation. So, you know, you'll see a lot of that. Definitely for New York, if you're coming to the upstate area away from New York City itself, you will see a lot of gas stations under the name of Brindari, which is very nice. You can get some decent stuff there, some decent food. Gas prices are fucking ridiculous, but yeah, I've only lived in one specific area of New York State for the last 9 years. I have not traveled as much away from it, but from my area, even then, there are so many things in which you think are in the now, but then 2 seconds later are out of trend, and it's hard to keep up. So I just basically get up, have a cup of coffee, walk down the road to my workplace where I sell cheese, and come home, get drunk, and go to bed. Maybe get high, I don't know. Depends. But honestly, like I said, as a Welshman who's been living out in America, specifically in New York State, for nearly now 10 years, I have a lot to learn as well, so you're not the only one. I still have questions. Student Finance UK, we need to talk about your timetable of sending letters out to people overseas. Send me a letter out stating that I need to fill out my information about my current job overseas by the end of July. You sent this out to me on the 6th of June. It took a month to get over to me. It's going to take a month to get this information back to you. Really need to work on your fucking timing, folks. Although lucky enough, I did fill out all the information, updated it online on their website, but still, the point stands. Fucking get your timing on this right. If you're expecting, a month before that all the information is ready by the end of the month and it takes a month for this letter to get to me, then, yeah, something's wrong there. I'm just going to check to make sure we're on the same page in the comments about soap. Yeah, the soap. What?
Most relaxing accent in the United Kingdom is the Welsh accent. So
North or South Wales? Because there is a difference. South Wales, we're more elegant. We've got more of an accent. It's thicker. But if you go up to the north, they sound more nasally, and they almost sound like as though they're actually from Liverpool. Oh, bloody hell, here we go now. Look, here's the Welsh Cilla Black. Alright, what's occurring? Surprise, surprise. Don't fucking hit me. Another session done, and my next appointment's going to be in a month's time. I need to start putting my foot down more and doing stuff more for me. It's been a couple of times now where I feel like, I am accommodating myself to helping others and making sure that they're okay, but my therapist said I think I need to put my foot down into doing stuff more for me, for my benefit, and doing stuff that I would like to do, not just attuning myself to others around me to do what they want to do. Kind of need to do more for me. Yeah, I kind of need to look to doing that. This is a very rare occasion for me to say this because I'm of an opposite mindset when I talk about work, but this particular work, I will say definitely, I'm quite gutted that I'm unable to work today. So, long story short, too late. Upstate New York was affected with a hurricane warning last night. Now, even though my neck of the woods wasn't affected heavily, we did get the splash effect. And my workplace, which is literally down the road, apparently they got hit and they are out of power. So without the power, we can't keep our cheeses in the fridge, which means that they have to go to a safe location. So my boss had to call me today to say, hey Jamie, this is what's happened, we're out of power, so we're not opening the store today. And it is the first time ever in any of my workplaces I looked at my text and went, aw, shit. But I sent a message back to say I'm glad everyone is okay with them, their family's okay, and no one's been hit heavily by this. But I know that there are other cities around here that were affected heavily by hurricanes, in which I say to them, I really hope you're safe, I hope you're in a good place, and hopefully you and your loved ones are okay. Please stay safe out there. I like how my morning starts with dealing once again with the New York State of Health asking me for a proof of income just for me to continue on with my insurance plan. And it's funny, for the last month since I started, I have given them nothing but a proof of income with the pay stub from my recent job, which I only got paid once so far, a copy of the contract in which states that I do work for this company now, and this is how much I will be making, not only every paycheck, but also in an annual grossly income. I have given them a copy of a letterhead from my boss to say, yes, he does work here, he does get paid this much, and this is what he'll be bringing in a yearly income. And apparently all three of those are considered invalid information for the New York State of Health. Guys, you fucking asked for them. It's just fucking weird. Not to sound like a dick when I say this, but I question on some people's intelligence sometimes. So, a Twitch streamer, this one right here, had posted a video on Twitter in which they stated, oh, apparently I got a warning from Twitch because it was considered as sexual content and I was doing nothing wrong. The video in question is of them shirtless barking at the door. So I give a message to say, oh really, it got hit with a sexual content warning and you're shirtless. That's a bit of a mystery. And then they replied back to say, oh well, it's perfectly fine. It says in the rules for Twitch that, nipples are permitted in the streams. It's perfectly fine. So taking on the knowledge of what my husband says, and that is basically read up on sources and make sure it is legit, I couldn't find anything that states anything about nipples. But I did find this nice little paraphrase in which started off with, we do not condone the idea of nudity or partial nudities in your streams. So I posted that and I said, I'm not stating that you're wrong, but I didn't see anything that said what you were saying, but this is what I found. They replied back saying that what I posted had nothing to do whatsoever with them being shirtless. So apparently being shirtless is not considered as partial nudity. If that is the case, then I owe my biography teacher a massive fucking apology for being a failure in their class.